welcome to September's makeup masterclass. I am so excited to be sharing with you some fall signature makeup looks. I'm not going to prime my eyes, and the only reason why is because I'm going to be taking stuff off and I just don't want to waste my time with it. But let's start with a couple of eye combinations. So one of my favorite things to do is 2-shade eyeshadow looks. I'm going to show you two very simple 2-shade eyeshadow looks that are just going to look great on a lot of skin tones and definitely give you more of that berry vibe that we love for fall. Then I'm going to show you an everyday 2-shade eyeshadow look and how to elevate that a little bit. If you saw my newsletter this week, I shared a little bit about a couple of fall makeup trends. And one of the fall makeup trends is doing a very neutral eye with a pop of berry. So I want to show you how to do that. And then I'm going to also show you how to create a more bold eyeshadow look for fall with my 4-step eyeshadow technique. So take your notes. Let me know what combinations you like. I don't have any eye brushes. Hold on, let me go grab that real quick. We have our Bright brush. This is my favorite eyeshadow brush of all time. It does it all. She's perfection. And we're gonna start with the 2-shade eyeshadow look that you may have seen if you saw my newsletter 2-ish weeks ago. I shared an exclusive 2-shade eyeshadow look with you featuring the shade of the season called Home. I absolutely love these shades of the season for this season right now because they're very fall appropriate, but I feel like they just look good on everybody. This shade right here, Peppermint, is a really pretty color for the cheeks. You can do a cheek topper, but you can also do a one and done eyeshadow. And that's what I love about the shades of the season is they're really great for one and done shades. This is the shade called Lemon Drop. It has a little hint of brown in it. So when I flip it, you can see it turns a little deeper. And then in other lights, it looks a little more like metallic. So these two are two of the shades of the season. And then we have the shade called Home, which is my personal favorite. This one, you can literally do a one and done eyeshadow because it has this red base to it with blue shimmer flecks on top. So it makes it very multi-chrome, multi-dimensional. I like taking the shade called Lullaby, and we are going to stamp that in there. I didn't get an email. Bridget, are you not getting my weekly newsletters? They come usually every Monday is when I share my weekly newsletter in the All Things Beautiful Club. If you're not getting it, sorry, All Things Beautiful Tribe. If you're not receiving it, please check your spam, please. And if you have a Yahoo account, let me know because my email server is having issues with Yahoo accounts. But I have to figure it out because a couple people have been telling me. If I did, it was maybe 2 weeks ago. You should have gotten the one from this week too. I sent it on Monday and that was on the trends. So this one is a 2-shade eyeshadow. You have to save the save the email into your contacts, and usually it does save it or always put it in your inbox. So anyways, it's weird. Sometimes it will still send things to spam. So just always check your spam. I check mine every single day because I get a lot of brand collabs and stuff like that in my spam. So it's crazy. Hey Archie, how are you? All right, so anyways, we're taking that Lullaby shade, we're placing it in our crease. And if you notice, I keep my eye open and I'm just stamping her in there and I'm building her up because I really want to intensify this. Lullaby is a gorgeous shade for the fall. She's gorgeous year round, but she's really pretty in the fall time because again, it adds more of that depth, that color that we're missing. And I'm just placing that in my outer corner and just creating the shape that I want. And usually I would do this before I do my face makeup so that I can clean this up, but it's fine. We're just creating that little V shape. So I kept my eye open when doing it. And if you have some loose skin, my recommendation is just setting your hand right there and that'll hold the skin tight. You don't want to do this because it's going to distort your face. So you just want to set it like that. Keep your eye open because it's going to help you to see what you're doing and help to hold that skin nice and tight. And then when you let go, it's going to fall in its natural place. If you pull too much, it's going to distort everything. And then when you let go, it's going to look muddy and messy. So I recommend always holding the skin tight by just placing your hand and it'll naturally do it. And then keeping your eye open so that you can see what you're doing. Now I get it. It's kind of hard. It is a skill to do eyeshadow with your eye open. But I promise if you do it, you'll be able to see better. And then I'm going to take Home. Look at how gorgeous this is. It's literally like one and done. And at the end, I'm going to show you how you can add things into your wish list in case if you don't know how to do that, especially because the new launches are technically available, but they're not available for purchase. They're just available on the website, meaning that you can add them to lists. So anyways, good, busy with work. Layoffs are happening. Thankfully, I'm safe for now. Oh man, Arju, I would definitely be praying for you. That is scary. All right, So there we have Lullaby and Home. Look at how gorgeous it is. That purple from that Lullaby just kind of helps it bring some depth to the look and some dimension and really makes the eyes pop. And then what I recommend doing is going in to, if you already have your foundation on, if you don't, just clean it up. But we're just gonna clean her with my 3D brush, and look at that. This is the trick. Cleaning up the eyeshadow at the end right there is gonna make it look more professional, make it look more snatched. And this is gonna be a great technique too for hooded eyes, because we're creating this lift and we're bringing it pretty high. Now, when you have a hooded eye and your brow's a little lower, you're basically bringing the eyeshadow into your eyebrow. So that's basically what that looks like there. Another one of my favorites, 2-shade eyeshadow combos are these two right here. So we have Clear and Cranberry. Honestly, you could just do Cranberry on its own, but adding that shade in the crease, what it does is just a natural contour to the eye, and it helps to, it gives a natural contour to the eye, gives some dimension and some depth to the eye too. So that way when you place down your shimmer shade or whatever you put on your lid, it just looks like you put more effort into your look than you really did. So we're basically placing this all over the eyelid, in the crease, and I love to stamp. I like to do that because it helps me to have control, helps things not to be patchy. When you start doing circular motions, I find that you can get really big circles and stuff like that, versus when you do more of the tapping motion, I find that you have a little more control, which is what we want. We're gonna take Cranberry, and I always do shimmers with my fingers. This is gonna help to give the most pop. Now I will place it with my eye closed, and then I open the eye, and then I will see where the eyeshadow is. And if I need to go higher, I'll just place it a little higher, close my eyes to perfect the shape. So that way we kind of have a little bit of depth. But do you see how pretty that is? And it just kind of helps to give like more of that blown out effect, helps to make it a little softer. So I find that putting down that base, that crease shade first is going to help to just kind of give a little bit of some depth to the look, make it look like you put way more effort than you really did. If you take Cranberry, let me show you. If you take Cranberry and wet it, so we're going to grab a little bit of that. I'm gonna grab a different brush. I'm gonna grab a flat little brush. This is like the multitasking brush, just from a different brand. But I wanna show you how gorgeous Cranberry really can be. Take Cranberry. We're going to grab a little bit of some spray. I just use some setting spray, and now we're wetting it so that it turns more of a metallic finish. Look at that dimension. Do you see that? It just like kind of makes it more of a metallic finish. You can also use it to kind of create like a cut crease, so it's going to help to define the eyes a little bit more. Just really helps to change the effect of the eyeshadow. And you just want to let it dry down completely before you put anything on top. But this is going to kind of bring out more of those redder tones in that Cranberry shade, and again make it a little bit more metallic and more intense. So if you really want it to pop, that's going to help to make the eyeshadow really, really pop. So just a fun little pro tip. I think it's funny because like I feel like everyone should know that, but also I'm realizing that a lot of people don't know these things. So fun pro tips. Also, again, it doesn't look like I really made that much of a mess here, but watch when I take a little bit of my highlight shade and just use it to clean up this little edge right here, how that just makes it look so much more clean and elevated. It's the smallest little tip, but I am telling you that if you do this with your eyeshadow every single time, it is going to make it look nice and crispy and clean. That's why I like to do foundation after my concealer and stuff. So that way, or after, what did I say? I like to do my foundation after my, I can't think of words right now. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I have a lot of anxiety going on because I am getting so close to my surgery and have like a million things that I'm thinking about. So it's just been like, I had like 5 different phone calls today. So if I seem out of it, that's what it is. Hold on, let me get my thoughts together. That's why I like to do my eyeshadow before foundation so that I can clean up any mistakes I make. Okay, there we go. We got it. Anyways, all right. I'm going to add a little something to the eyes. We're going to take a little bit of the new launches. This is the shade called Cinnamon. it is one of the silk pencils. So I just shared a whole entire post all about the silk pencils and the satin pencils. So there's two different formulas. The silk is a silkier formula, but it's more long wearing, while the satin is going to be more hydrating. So it's going to not be as long wear, but it's going to give you really good glide to the lips. It's going to be, so satin is going to be more beginner friendly. The silks, not that they're not like good for beginners, but they are, they take a little bit of practice in remembering how to use them and like remembering that they set really fast. So I'm going to show you real quick. This is the shade called Cinnamon, one of my favorites, by the way. So when you apply it, you saw how that just applied like butter. I barely put any pressure, but look at how pigmented that is, right? So then I'm going to show you in comparison to a satin pencil. So the satins almost feel like a waxier formula. Ooh, what is that here? A waxier formula, while the silks literally feel like that. It glides on like silk. But it's not a waxy formula in the sense that it's tugging or anything. It's just like a little grippier. So that's the silk. Sorry, satin. This is the silk. I'm gonna let those dry for a second while I do my eye real quick. But what I've been finding that I really like with the silk pencils, which are the more long wearing ones. This is the shade Cinnamon again. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate you being so patient with me and understanding. Yes, I know. I just can't wait till the surgery and just to get all this stuff over with. I'm like so done with it. Anyways, all right. So I'm going to pick some up with this little brush here. This is similar to the Etch brush, but it's just a different brand. I actually prefer the Etch brush over this. I just didn't feel like grabbing it. Anyways, also, did you see the new palette? How gorgeous is this marbled palette? Let me know if you're interested in the marbled palette. Is this your vibe or not really? Because there's a couple different palettes. But anyway, we're going to take the pencil. And I like to use a brush. The reason why is because I can be a little more precise. So if you're someone who has ever tried the Seint cream eyeliners and maybe you found that the cream eyeliners didn't last on you as well, whatever the case may be, I think you're really gonna love the new pencils, especially the silk pencils, because the silk pencils are so long wear. But I find that if you want to create a really precise eyeliner or even use them for the brows, you have to apply them with the brush. So I'm kind of picking it up just like that on the brush. And then I can create my little shape. Because the thing is, they're chubby. That's the only thing I hate about them, is that they're a little chubby, which is nice because you can get like fill in your lips and stuff like that quickly. But I don't care for it being chubby because it is harder to make a precise line. Like just now, I created that little wing, but it was kind of like looking patchy. So what I did was I took my finger and just kind of swiped it, but I have to work fast. So when I'm working with this pencil, you have to do it like in sections is what I find. And then you can sharpen them to make them pointy again, but they're not going to be as pointy as they were when you first got them, which is the only thing that I hate. And I'll show you how I do that in a second. But we're just kind of filling in the little liner right there. And again, once she's on, so she ain't moving. I love it too because you can use it to tight line. You can use it as eyeliner, and it is really nice as eyeliner. I hate tightlining, especially on camera, but I'm gonna do it for you, okay? Okay. Sorry if my eyes are rolling, because I freaking hate this so much. Let me know if you like to tightline your eyes, or if you're like me, I hate it, because it's like, it's touching my eyeball. Oh, but look at that. That just helps to add a little depth, and that just changed up the whole look. So that was clear and cranberry, but now we put this Cinnamon, which is this long wear pencil, which remember that I told you that I was gonna let that set for a second so you can see the difference between satin and silk. I'm gonna show you that in a second. But let me first sharpen this. So what we're gonna wanna do is take like a tissue paper, preferably a napkin. I'm just doing what I have near me. And you're going to take the pencil and you're going to twist, and it's going to create that point back for you. So it's gonna help you to waste the least amount of product, so that way you make it nice and pointy again. Now a napkin, like a paper towel, is going to have a little more grit, so it's going to be easier for you to be able to kind of create that shape there. Okay, I love the marble palette. Isn't it gorgeous? And then if you were someone who wanted the checkerboard palette and wasn't able to get your hands on it, they're making a comeback too. I believe all the palettes will be available in every single size, except the marble will not be available in the square, but don't quote me on that. I have to double check. But I do know that the checkerboard will be available in the square palette, which I love this for 4-shade eyeshadow, for touch-up palette, for like 2 large tins, whatever the case may be. So anyways, remember these two? So we have cinnamon, which was our silk, and then brownie, which was our satin. Watch this. Do you see that? I'm rubbing real hard. So the satin, after sitting there for a while, left a little bit of color behind, but not as much. That silk did not move. She is waterproof, budge resistant. People were actually asking me about how do you remove them, because this is regular micellar water, so I want to show you real quick. So micellar water is one of my favorite ways to remove makeup, but in this case, it does not come off easily. I was scrubbing really hard. So my recommendation is either using an oil cleanser. So at night using like something like coconut oil is a decent one, but like a cleansing oil. I wouldn't do a balm, I would do an oil because it's a little thinner, but I actually recommend a bi-phase waterproof makeup remover. Now this one, I'm not going to tell you the brand because she's $80. The only reason I have it is because it came in a BoxyCharm box, but I was telling someone about it today and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is $80. I don't remember it being $80 back when I first got this, but I found a more affordable version. So I'll share that with you later on today. Okay, anyways, so you want biphase. So basically what is biphase? Biphase, it's an oil on the top and the bottom is micellar water. You mix them together and it will remove the most waterproof of waterproof makeup. So I'll show you. But oil cleansers, I found help to remove it pretty well. So yeah, she will last. Hold on. Let me go in the spot that actually has the product on it, Michelle. Did you see that? Hold on. Did I even do anything? Again, I'm on the wrong spot. Hold on, guys. I promise I have my life together. Okay, there we go. So that comes off a lot easier. Still a little harder, but it definitely came off a lot easier and I got the rest of it off. So biphase, B-I-phase, P-H-A-S-E. Makeup remover. That is what you want to look for. Again, I'll share one that I found that was $12 on Amazon, and she should do the trick because she was a biphase oil micellar water, and that's what you want. I don't know why I'm clappity thing, but anyways, here we have cranberry, clear, cinnamon, gorgeous, Gorgina. Let me make sure I don't have any what's it called? Oil makeup remover. You saw how that eyeliner didn't budge? She ain't budging. She ain't going anywhere. And I will tell you, if you struggle with transfer on the bottom, I still recommend setting with a little powder here and definitely using a waterproof mascara at the bottom because I used non-waterproof mascara and I had some smudging from my mascara, not from the eyeliner. The eyeliner will not move. And then this side we have Lullaby and Home. Okay. Yes, I'm taking pictures in case if you're wondering. All right, let's go ahead and remove this makeup. All right, so biphase micellar water makeup remover or an oil cleanser at night. Really depends how you like to remove your makeup. Regular micellar water, you're gonna be scrubbing for a while. That's all I will tell you. I've tried all of them. I have like 20 different ones, the Garnier one, and none of them were working. But look at this. See how that just came off? Melted off like butter. Now the issue is, and this is the issue with my swatches. So when you do see them later on, and if you might notice any of the colors look a little patchy, they're not patchy. The issue is because of the oil in here, it leaves a little bit of an oily residue and you have to like basically wash it off with soap and water for that oily residue to go away. Or else your makeup will apply patchy on top. So this is not recommended for if you are going to be doing like multiple makeup looks like me and stuff like that. But the reason I am using it is because, again, when using these silk pencils, I need something potent, I need something strong. And I obviously do not have mascara on either, so the looks will look way different when you put mascara on. Maybe we'll put mascara on for the end, but we'll see. Also, who am I kidding? I know this masterclass is going to be over an hour. I can already tell. We're already like 40 minutes in and I've only done 2 looks. It's okay. It's okay. We're having fun, right? Okay, let's get into look number 3 and 4. So this third look is one of the makeup trends that I was telling you about. One of the makeup trends that I was telling you about. So it's like more of a neutral eye. So this eye is going to be gorgeous on everybody. Everybody. But I'm going to add a little twist to it. We're going to do a little berry pop. The berry pop, it's optional to you, whether if you want to do it or not. But I think it's going to be really pretty. This is going to be the staple 2-shade eyeshadow look for fall. These are 2 shades I always recommend, especially if you're wanting a neutral brown look. This is it. Again, for fall, we want deeper tones. So we have Sedona, one of my favorites, and Riviera. I have to sneeze. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna use my brush cleaning tile. Yes, definitely great for double cleansing. Because what I love about the dual phase too, or the biphase, sorry, is that because of the oil, it's gentle. So when you're using it on like a little cotton round or whatever the case may be, it's super gentle. You don't have to rub as hard as like a regular micellar water or something like that. But you always want to rinse off or wash off micellar water. Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of Sedona. And before I do that, I'm gonna actually just make sure that there's no oil on my eyelid. So I'm gonna take some loose setting powder. Doesn't matter what loose setting powder you use. We're just using this. I pretend I put eyeshadow primer on because that's usually what I would do. But again, I don't feel like doing that because it's late. I mean, it's not super late. It's 5 p.m. my time, which I prefer because at 8 p.m. I like the 8 p.m. ones. But so, okay, little tidbit. My husband works at the church and he's a youth pastor. So we have youth service on Wednesdays. So I was helping him out. And until more recently, I kind of pulled back from helping him out because I just had too much on my plate and he didn't really need my help anymore anyway. So anyways, I can eat dinner at any time, but like when he's here, obviously like he'll come home from work and I like to spend time with him. And then I cook dinner for us. So that's why the master classes usually are a little bit later. It's not because I like to do them later. It's really because I'm trying to find a time that works for everybody and also works for me and my schedule. But today I do not have to cook him dinner because he's at youth, so he probably is going to eat dinner or something. And I just make my own dinner here at home. So girl dinner. All right, let's do Sedona. And we're going to smack that in the crease with the bright brush. And then we're going to stamp that all over the lid. This is going to give some nice depth to the look. So it's going to give us more of that fall vibe. Now, Sedona is one of those shades that if you don't set down your eyeshadow primer, like let's say hypothetically I put down eyeshadow primer, she will pull a little darker. So you want to make sure that you do set her. And the reason I'm putting this all over my lid is so that when I put down the next shade, which is Riviera, I have some of that depth. So it just kind of gives it some dimension to the look. You can just put it in the crease if you want to, but I find that putting it all over, it also makes it a little easier to do these 2-shade looks. Grabbing Riviera with the fingers, and we're just gonna stamp that all over. Now, if you really want that Riviera shade of pop, remember what I told you about using a flat brush and little spray. So that's just Riviera and Sedona. Look at how pretty that is. Then I'm gonna go into the pencil side of the bright brush. And I'm gonna keep my eye open and create this little 7 shape here and bring that in. And that's gonna help to add some nice definition right there. And I'm gonna bring that across my lower lash line. And that just helps to intensify the look even more. And I actually am gonna go in with Riviera on a wet brush. Now, fun little pro tip, I like to take a little setting powder and place that right here if I ever am using a darker shade and feel like I've gone too high or maybe it looks a little too intense. It helps to soften it up a little bit. All right, watch when I take Riviera with the setting powder. Not setting powder, setting spray. Okay, we're taking a flat brush. Again, this is like multitasker. We're just grabbing setting spray. You can use Plush Prep or even water. I prefer to grab the product first, the eyeshadow first, and then apply the spray on the brush. Look at that. I find if you have a wet brush and pick up in the product, it creates a film. So it makes the product less intense. But do you see that? I'm just kind of tapping. Tapping again helps us to have more control. Look at how gorgeous that is. And it brings out like the shimmer flecks. I'm gonna let that dry completely before we do anything crazy. I'm gonna go into one of the satin pencils. This is the shade called Mulberry. So this is the shade that you would technically use for the eyes, or sorry, the lips. But this is a really fun trend I'm seeing that I absolutely love, where we're taking that and putting it across our lower lash line. Now, not everyone is gonna like this. So if you find that it's pulling too red in the waterline, put it on your lower lash line like this, and then you can go in with something like espresso, so a darker brown eyeliner, and put that in the waterline. So you have the darker brown in the waterline, but then you still have that berry underneath. Look at how pretty that is. It just kind of gives a little pop. And then I personally, because it's all about balance, I'll probably put on some mascara in a second here. I'm taking some of that espresso and just using that to create my little wing. Again, I like to take my nail to go ahead and flick her out. I brought that eyeliner a little too high up, but it's okay. And then if I do apply it directly, you want to get really in there. So I like to tilt my pencil so that I'm holding it more like this so that I can really get in there. But again, that's why I find that just using like a little smudgy brush, like the etch brush, is going to be great to help you have more precision. You see that, how much easier it is? Especially with the silk pencils. Look how gorgeous that is. Isn't that so pretty? So it's really a 2-shade eyeshadow look with that little pop of berry. Makes the eyes really glow. And then we finish off with some mascara. Let me know what your favorite mascara is right now. This is one that I just got in PR. I don't know if I've ever tried it before. I think I have. I think I used this when I was in high school. This is the Colossal mascara, but I feel like they had one that was called Colossal Big Lash, and that was the one that I used. Because I remember it being yellow, but I remember it being called Big Lash, but that might be another mascara too. You see how mascara really makes the look? What do we think? Would you wear this combo? And it's such a great way to do like a pop of color, but make it fall coated. And then of course, I think that when you have like this going on right here, you need a little zhuzhing of some mascara right there. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And you could do it with greens. You could do it with a softer red. This was Mulberry Satin Pencil. But you could also do it with, I think they have one called Toasty or Brownie, like a more warmer brown would be really pretty. So the possibilities are endless. Okay. Okay, let's do the other eye. So we're gonna do our 4-shade eyeshadow. It's gonna be real quick. So brace yourself. Bubba in the crease We always want to start off first with a shade that's 1 to 2 shades darker than our skin tone. And this is another fall trend. So it's bolder eyeshadow. It's kind of like one of those things that I feel like is always around, but like in the fall, it's like really common. So Bubba in the crease. You see how Bubba's a lot lighter than Sedona? So it's more of a wash. So if you're intimidated by Sedona, go in with Bubba. She's very similar, but this is like the big sister of Sedona. Then we're gonna go into Holly. So you want something that's like 1 to 2 shades darker. So this is 1 shade darker. This is 2 to 3 shades darker. So just a little bit darker, placing it on the outer corner right there. And we're gonna stamp her right here. This is my signature eye look, by the way. I do this all year round, but I feel like it's very fall coated. Now, the only thing is that I used to do this with Holly, but they decided to discontinue Holly. So I guess we're going to be best friends with Zion. Not that I hate Zion, but Holly was just a little deeper. So that's what I loved about Holly. Zion is like the softer version. She's the little sister of Holly. We're gonna wipe off the excess right there, and then I'm gonna go into Cocoa. She's a little darker, and again, we're going to create that 7 shape. Keep the eye open as much as possible. Once you get the placement down, then you can close the eyes. But we're going to really deepen this up, and for fall, I like to bring her in a little bit more. So I'm just grabbing that from the side right there and bringing that in some. Again, keeping my eye open so I can see where my crease is, and that's gonna help to define the eyes. Then we're gonna go into the fluffy side of our brush, not picking up any excess product. We're just gonna blend out the edges. This would be a lot smoother if I actually did this on primed eyes, but we're just gonna make it work, okay? Then I'm going to deepen her up a little bit more. Here's the thing with like these bolder eyeshadow looks, start with less, you can always add more. Don't think that you have to add so much. Okay, next, I'm gonna go into one of the lip silks, silk pencils. This is in the shade called Caramel. And I'm gonna use her as a base for my eyeshadow. So we're just gonna place that all over. I'm gonna take my finger, and it's just gonna help to add some warmth and depth to the eyes. And also I can use her to kind of carve this out. I'm hoping that Seint is gonna drop some lighter shades, so shades like a cupcake, but like in a stick form. Chai in a stick form, even though they have one called Chai, but it's not like Chai. Things like that. I think that is going to be really, really helpful and pretty. And then I'm just gonna go right on top. This is gonna create a little sticky base, so I can use a flat brush to go ahead and stamp on Hot Chocolate, which is one of my faves. You gotta be quick with it though. Gotta be quick because that pencil, silk pencil, does dry down really quickly. Okay, and she's looking a little messy, but trust the process here. And I'm going quick for 2 reasons, but the main reason is just to show you that you can be kind of messy with it, and everything in makeup is fixable. So I'm just going in with a little bit of Bubba in the crease one more time just to soften up those harsh edges. And then you already guessed it. We're gonna go in to our highlight shade, clean up those edges. And I have to update my 4-shade eyeshadow formula guide because now that there's different eyeshadows, some of the shades don't exist anymore. So I'm gonna have to do that for you very soon. But obviously I have other important things that I'm worrying about. We clean her up. She's looking nice and buffed. Nice and clean. Then I'm gonna go into Espresso, which is the darkest brown. I'm gonna actually, I lied. No, yes, I'm gonna go in with this. Espresso, which is the darker brown. So it's just a little softer than going in with the black shade. Or should I do the black? Let's do the black so I can show you how black the black is. It's literally called black. It's similar to Black Friday. So same thing. I just kind of do like, it's like a baby wing, and then I take my fingernail and just flick, and that's gonna help that. No, can't see what I'm doing. There we go. A little flickety flick. And then again, tilting my pencil up like this so that I can really get in that lash line. We're gonna tight line. Oh gosh, here we go again. Oh my God. I hate it so much, but look at the difference. Look at that difference. It just helps to intensify it, helps it to look like you have more eyeliner on than you really do. And you can definitely see the difference between the black and the brown. Espresso is gonna be better if you have softer features. Maybe you're not really a fan of black. You're gonna like espresso. Black is gonna be more for my bolder queens who like some intensity. And now let's do our mascara. So there we have that 4-shade eyeshadow. We can make that as deep as we want to in the outer corner. I would actually suggest, if you want it even darker, instead of cocoa, going with Philly. I just like cocoa because it's a little softer, so I feel like it's a little friendlier when it comes to beginners and people who are scared of dark eyeshadow. But if you're not scared of dark eyeshadow, go in with Philly, go in with Kohl, and it'll be great. I found you. You weren't showing on your page for me. That's so weird. Sometimes you just have to come into the group and you'll find it. I'm glad you're here though, John. You haven't missed much. We've only done eyeshadow. It's gonna be an hour and a half. I mean, I yapped for 15 minutes in the beginning, so really, where are we at? All right, so there we have Sedona, Riviera, Mulberry, pencil, and espresso on top. And then here we have Bubba Zion Cocoa Hot Chocolate with caramel underneath as a base, just to add some depth to the look. Because if I do hot chocolate on its own, it's going to be a little bit more brighter. And then we did black as the pencil. I also love the fact that my eyebrows are a hot mess express. I'm still growing them out, okay? We'll see when I end up getting them done. I'm just putting clear brow gel on. Tame it a little bit. Make myself look a little more presentable for you. All right, let's play with the lips and cheeks. Let's do it. Let's wrap things up. But let me know which one of the combos is your favorite. 1, 2, 3, or 4. So 1 was Lullaby Home. 2 was Claire Cranberry. 3 was Sedona Riviera. And 4 was Cocoa, Bubba, Zion, and Hot Chocolate. I do really miss Holly because Holly added that depth that I loved. But it's okay. I'll get over it. I'll get over it. All right, moving right along. Let's do cheeks. Let's play around. So a couple of different combinations I love to do for fall. We have our purple combos that you cannot go wrong with. I know they're scary, but they're a lot of fun. I love doing, what's this color? Purple Rain with Haze and Ultraviolet. So this is blush combo number 1 for the fall. She looks great year round, honestly, but this is gonna be great on my olive skin tone girlies. So if you're a little more neutral, that's gonna be really, really good one for you. Yes, Bridget, 3 and 4. I can definitely see that because I think they're more neutral. So I feel like those look better. I know those look better on your skin tone. So we have, this is how I like to do combinations. So whenever I'm playing with different colors and stuff like that, I always start darkest to lightest. And then when I blend, I'm gonna use darkest to lightest. And if you notice, I'm using a black 3D brush. She's actually the new Pilot brush that I'm so excited for. So we're finally getting one black brush. I'm hoping that they launch more of the black brushes because the black brushes, the bristles are a little softer. They're not as pokey. Also, this one is not as dense, so it does give a little lighter coverage, but this one comes apart. So remember that brush that came apart? This gold one? we are now going to be able to purchase it in black, and it's, I think, better material. I like the black. The black is just so soft. Look how pretty that combo is. So that's our purple combo. So again, we had Purple Rain, Haze. If you don't have Haze, Huckleberry is a great one, but Haze is one of the shades from the Loyalty Shop. I like it a little bit better because it's a little more cooler, so it doesn't pull orange on me. And then Ultraviolet. It's a really, really fun one. Can be kind of bold, and I'm going to show you how to tone this down in a second. So we're going to keep her vibrant like this for now. But then another combo that I love to do, love to use these brick shades here. So start with Renaissance. Okay, Renaissance looks intense and crazy, but she's really not. She's actually really like a burgundy red, I would consider her. Sandstone, which is more of the lighter, she's more of a brick. So you see Renaissance versus Sandstone. And then Rosewood is going to be a little lighter. So Rosewood is going to be great for my lighter skin, if you want it to look a little more sun-kissed, if you like a little more warmth. So you can definitely see the difference between the three different blushes here. How we have Renaissance that looks like more of that burgundy, true burgundy. Here's more of your brick red, and here's more of your warmer orange brick red. So this is another really fun combination. And it's actually funny because I didn't realize that I did this, but this is the blush combo that I would definitely wear with this because it has that like mulberry color going on, and this has that like brickness to the cheeks. So again, I just kind of stamp and go back and forth until I get it nice and blended out. Now I will be fully transparent with you. On this side of my face, I'm testing out a mineral sunscreen. I don't have it on this side. So I'm just like noticing that this side, it's a little drier and it's a little patchier. But maybe that's just me. So anyway, in case if you see that, that's what's happening. Okay. So look how fun that is. So it is, again, a little bit more of your traditional like bricky. It's gonna give more of a sun-kissed finish, kind of give more of that tan vibe. So if you're like more like, I like more tan, sun-kissed looks, these blushes are gonna be the ones you wanna use. And what's great is you can wear them on their own. You can mix and match them, wear all three together, just wear two together, whatever you wanna do. So there we have the purples, there we have the bricks. These are my personal favorites for fall, the ones that I'll recommend for different skin tones. So this is usually my more olive skin tone girls. Neutral, cooler tones is gonna be purples. My olive girls can still wear this one, but I would recommend this more on my warmer toned girlies, my fairer skin girlies, people who are maybe a little bit scared of color but want to wear some color. These are the tones that I'm gonna recommend. So let me know which team are you? Are you team brick or team purple? I personally am team purple. I love the purple. Let's hold the palette real quick. I'm taking my little picture so we can, post the afters. Okay, so let's say you're like, crap, this is too much, it's too bold, I can't do it. Have no fear, Michelle is here to help you with some colors that are gonna help to tone things down. And I'm gonna have to probably take one of these two sides off. Probably it's gonna have to be this one. But anyways, nude and plum are great colors to tone down any lip color or any cheek color. So I'm gonna take a little bit of some plum. We're gonna just put that right on top of the purples. And that's gonna help to mute everything down, make it feel less intense, but still have a little bit of that glow, that like pinky glow going on. Do you see how that's just kind of like muting it? Like it's still purpley, but it's not as intense. It's a little softer, And then what we can do is, if things really get out of hand, go into our top highlight. I like to do the lighter shade versus the darker shade because I find the lighter shade will help to tone things down a little better. Just put a little bit of that on top, on the edges mostly. And you see how that just kind of muted it down just a little bit. So it's feeling a little more wearable, less intense. I put some down the center right there. And I'm just gonna mute her down. So if you're scared, that's a great solution. You can also just not do Purple Rain. And Purple Rain, she does make it more bare. But you see that's a little softer and a little more wearable. So it's like not as cray to the cray. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you like the look too, and you're a brick fan. I love that. I could definitely see the bricks being better for you, Susan. Purple all the way. I love Prince, by the way. Yes, I know, Purple Rain. I think it's spelled different though than his song, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, I love, 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 love Purple Rain. That's one of my favorite lip and cheek colors. All right, on this side, I'm gonna take a little bit of nude and do the same thing. And we're just gonna tone her down. So nude and plum are really great, like color toners, lip and cheek toners. Like they'll just kind of tone things down, mute it down a little bit so that it doesn't feel as intense. And also when you add nude to things, it's gonna add a little bit of a mauve-y hint to it. So if you feel like it's looking too warm, this is gonna help to kind of almost neutralize it and give you more of that pinkiness. Now, obviously we have a crap ton of blush on this side. So that's why I do say you will have to like kind of go in and clean things up a little bit with your highlight shade. Again, I like to use the lighter highlight shade and just kind of go along the edges with it. And that helps to soften it up a lot more. I don't like to go past this area here because I feel like that brings my face down. So I'm just kind of toning her a little bit. Do you see how I just made it a little softer, a little more natural, right? So then, okay, we're gonna have to go in. I am literally scraping the edges of my tins here. I wanna see how much, if I can get all the way through them. I feel like at this point is where I always change them out. So I'm gonna try to get all the way through it. So right now you're kind of seeing my little behind the scenes of what I do whenever I'm filming content and I'm like doing multiple cheek swatches, which is why I did not do this for the swatches that I shared not too long ago, because it cakes up really quick. So this is how I kind of get rid of my blush. I just put a bunch of cream foundation on top, blend it out and pray for the best. But I make a blank canvas. All right, we're gonna do it on both sides because I actually remembered what I was gonna do. I'm gonna show you two more cheek things, and then we're gonna move into the lip combos, which let me know, if you've seen any of the new launches, the new pencils, the gelatos, even the pH adjuster, whatever you wanna see. If there's a specific color, maybe you wanna see a combo, maybe you wanna see what something looks like, swatched, whatever the case may be. I mean, obviously I'm sharing a bunch of those things on YouTube, and I'm gonna share a bunch of those things in this page too, and different forms of content. But if there's like a specific shade you wanna see together or whatever, let me know. All right, my face is evened out. So I wanna show you a fun little trick to fallify your summer blushes. So these two are very popular summer blushes, Pink Grapefruit and my favorite, Madrid. So let's say we have Pink Grapefruit, right? I love taking nude lip and cheek and mixing that together. And that's just gonna tone it down and turn it into a more muted version that's a little less bright and intense, a little more neutral, a little bit more wearable for the fall. Let's do a little more nude. I had a little too much. I would probably do a 3-to-1 ratio backwards. So I would do nude, 3 dots, Pink Grapefruit, 2 dots, or even a 2-to-1. So 2 dots of nude, 1 of Pink Grapefruit. And that's gonna help to tone it down just a little bit. You see how it's like a little more like, not as intense. It's not like bright bubblegum pink. It's softer. I will say, if it looks ashy, it really is because of how much cream foundation I have underneath. That's why you shouldn't do it like this, but you know, this is for the sake of the video. Okay. Wood suede work. Suede lip liner, like the tin. I probably not. Suede will probably turn it too cool toned. Because suede, I use it more as a bronzer. I feel like it wouldn't look good with like pink grapefruit. I'll grab it. Hold on. And also the formula is different. Let me find it. Which one's suede? Where are you, suede? I think it's right here. Yeah, suede is too brown. I think it's gonna turn ashy. You want something that has some warmth in it. This is cedar. They all look so similar. Astoria. Which one is suede? Give me a second. I don't even know where my suede is now. Is it this one? No, this is Bella. Where's suede? Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know where my suede is. Hold on. Okay, yep, suede is lost. She is lost because she's not in the palettes that she's supposed to be in, so Lord only knows where that is. Let me check one more spot. Hold on. It drives me crazy. It might be in this. Because when things got discontinued, I pulled things and put them in different places. So if it's not in here, I don't know where it's at. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know where suede is. I have zero clue. I'm gonna have to look through all my palettes. That's gonna take forever. What brown lip liner? What would be a good brown lip liner? Fantastic question, Dawn. Let's get into it. But before I do that, okay. Fun fact about the lip gelatos, you can actually use them as blush. So they're similar to the glossy formula. And since they're color-wise, it's similar, but, or not color-wise, formula-wise, it's similar, but it's not as sticky. So this is a shade called Melon, and Melon reminds me of Venice, which you know how I feel about Venice. So you could do quite a few dots of her. The thing with the lip gelatos, they do not roll back down, so please be careful with how much you roll up. Well, watch this. It gives the prettiest glow, but it's less sticky. Now the lip stains, tints, whatever they're called, I found that they sometimes applied kind of patchy if I applied it directly on the face and then tried blending it. So I would have to put it on my hand and then pick it up with a brush, and then apply it. But with these, no patchiness. Look at how freaking stunning that is. That's Melon. Yes, if you notice that it's looking a little ashy, again, remember that I put on a huge layer of cream foundation on top. So that's why it's looking ashy a little tiny bit. I don't know if you see it right here especially, but that's not what it actually looks like. So sorry that it's not doing you justice. Right? Isn't it gorgeous? So I'm just saying, this is what I love about this new launch, is that it is helping people to break out of their box of this is how makeup should be versus this is what makeup can be. So here we have nude and pink grapefruit, toned down version. And here we have Melon lip gelato. So gorgeous, so gorgeous. All right, let's see. What requests do we have? We have give me gelato, please, in Melon and Coco Moreau. Okay. Good thing I did not read that out loud. I've been looking at all the new lip liners and having a hard time picking one. It is a very, very hard thing to do, but I'll show you. I share some swatches. I'm going to share some swatches from my friend Michelle Spieler. If you guys don't follow her, she's amazing, but she is a little lighter than me. Okay, she's quite a bit lighter than me. But she does have mature skin. So that's what I love about her swatches is you can see the fact that she has mature skin. I think she's like nearing 60 if I'm not mistaken. And she shows the swatches on her skin, so it looks a little different. Darn spell check. That's the story of my life, Bridget. All right, so we have a couple requests. We have melon, we have Coco Marot, which I think is going to be a bestseller, brown lip liners. Okay, let's get into it. So, all right, if we are talking about the suedes, I'm just saying random stuff now. Satin pencils. So remember, these are less long wearing, but a little creamier, more beginner friendly than the silks. So this is something that it's going to be a little more smudgier, a little more defined on the lips. Quick thing I'm going to put on my lips, because I just need it, is the new lip balm. We'll talk about her, but it's a little more hydrating than the regular balm, and it has this iridescent shift. For nighttime, if you put a good thick layer, she's really hydrating. All right. So, I feel like a lot of people are going to be drawn to this shade here called Pepper because she's a cool tone. But I talked about this in my live on Instagram earlier today. Cool tone lip liners do not look good on everybody. And if you have a cool undertone, believe it or not, it's going to look like, well, a cooler undertone, especially a darker cooler undertone. Lighter cooler undertone gets away with this. Darker cooler undertone, this is basically me in like a cool stick, right? So it's going to make me look like death. It's going to look ashy. We need, especially as we start getting older, we need some warmth and depth. So this is the shade Pepper. I love her. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. Here is Pepper. Swatch is going to be terrible, sorry. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be drawn to that because they're like, ooh, a pretty neutral, cool toned color. But look at how purple she is. It's not going to look good on everybody, especially if you have Dawn. I think you have a warmer undertone, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like this is not going to be the color for you. I'm going to show you real quick. Do you see how I have this natural purple on my lip? It's going to make that look worse. And just going to create this ashy mess on me. It's not flattering. It's not flattering because I'm going to show you this compared to the brown that I love, and then the brown that I think you might like, Dawn, if you want a lighter brown, because it depends if you want lighter or darker. A lot of people are going to pull Pepper. Pepper does not look good on everybody, and if you have purple lips, any depth to your lips, Pepper's going to look terrible on the lips on its own. I like using it more as a contour, a lip contour, or as like an eye base, or even nose contour. Pepper is great for nose contour because she's cooler, but has that little tiny bit of purple, so it adds some depth. And watch how easy it blends. So if you struggle with nose contour, that's where Pepper's gonna shine, okay? But on the lips itself, it's not gonna work for everybody. I think it's gonna work better on my lighter skin cool tone girlies, my warmer tone girlies. It's gonna pull really, really purple on them. It's just not for me. Versus Brownie, right? This is a shade that I would suggest you looking into, Dawn, if you want a darker brown, because you can tone this down. Okay, watch Brownie. Watch how much more flattering it looks like on my skin tone too. Because you just need some depth and you need a little warmth, especially as we start getting older. Do you see how already that looks so much better? It actually is defining my lip and not making it look like an ashy mess. Not making it look like I have a mustache up here. I do love Brownie. Again, the only thing is, it's not as long wear, but I'm gonna show you one of my favorite tricks to make her last a little more. See how pretty that is? Neutral girlies, yes. This is, no, neutral girlies. You need this, Brownie. Don't even look at Pepper, okay? Nobody get Pepper as a lip liner. I'm just kidding. Some people can get Pepper, but I'm neutral. In case if you guys don't know, I am a neutral undertone. So that's like a good reference. I know people think that I'm warm, but I'm really not. I think my lights make me look warm, but I'm neutral. So neutral girlies, Brownie is going to be your friend because you need that little tiny bit of warmth, just the smallest bit. It's a neutral. brown. I would consider that neutral. I wouldn't really consider that warm. Like there's like a little bit of warmth to it, but it's more on the neutral leaning. And I just soften that up so you can see her. So that you can see that you can make it softer. Like it doesn't have to be as intense, but you cannot do that with these silks. The silk, if I tried softening up that line, she won't take forever. So what we're gonna do to make her a little more long wear, take a little, once you have it nice and blended out to your heart's desire, take a little translucent setting powder and set her. And then you can put your lip product on top. So let's go in with Cocoa Marrow. Personally, I wouldn't wear Cocoa Marrow on its own because she does lean purple. There is Cocoa Marrow. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But it does have a little bit of that purple undertone to her. So right here on my top lip where I have some depth, if I don't have that brown lip liner, it's going to make it look very muted and purple. So if you want more of a wash, tap. If you want more color payoff, swipe. You can build this up too. So I'm gonna do 2 layers. This is 1 layer of Cocoa Marrow and Brownie. I think this is gonna be a really good combo for a lot of people. I want to show you it. Let me do pepper with this. I did that in my live. I'm just laughing because it literally made my lips look so ghostly, because we need that warmth, we need that depth. As we get older, we lose a lot of that color, and that, what is that color that we're missing is warmth. So it's not gonna turn warm or red on you. It's just like this little tiny hint of warmth, little tiny, tiny, tiny bit, that it gives you that youthful glow that you're missing. So that's what it does. Isn't it pretty? Yeah, Brownie and Cocoa Marrow. This is the combo right here. I think actually this was a combo that I shared today. I shared a lip combo video. I'll share that tomorrow here with like pictures so that you can see it a little bit better. But I love this one. And then we'll build her up. So I'm gonna do a 2nd layer of her. And remember, once you click up, you can't click back down. And what I love about this is super hydrating. Super, super juicy feeling, but it's not sticky at all. And as you wear it, it doesn't leave a tint per se. It's hard to say, it's hard to explain, because it does leave a little bit of a stain, but you have to let that set down. It almost is like the hydration, the like gloss that you're seeing, like that starts to evaporate, but it leaves that color behind, is the best way I can describe it. One of my friends wore this one the other day. She actually mixed it with melon, and it was so pretty. But yeah, she did that, and like we ate and everything, and it was still wearing really well. So the gloss, the shininess is not long wear, because glosses are not long wearing. That is just the reality of a gloss formula. It isn't long wearing, but in the sense of like, in comparison to the tin glosses or an actual lip gloss, this is more long wear because it's a thinner formula. And again, what happens is as you wear it throughout the day, I'll share with you a picture of me wearing one of the darker colors for 8 hours, eating twice and not touching up my lips at all. It still left a little color behind. So what happens is that shine that you're seeing, that will evaporate. So that will leave the lips, but you'll be left with that color behind. So the color does wear well. Obviously, if you're wiping your lips and stuff, it's not gonna wear. But if you're not touching your lips or licking your lips constantly, you let that set for a good while, and you're gonna be left with a good little color. I would say probably 2 to 4 hour wear is what I would say the color will last, depending on the color you get. If you get a darker color, it will last you longer. So I wouldn't say, because they're not promoting them as long lasting, but they're not. But from experience, trying it myself, seeing other artists try it, it does leave a little color behind. So you'll be left with the color, just not the shine. And it's easy to touch up, and it's not gonna get cakey or goopy when you touch it up, which I love. So there we have Cocoa Marrow and Brownie, okay? And you'll even see when I wipe it off, it hasn't been sitting on my lips for long enough to leave any kind of stain. It's not like the lip tints. At the lip tints, as soon as you put it on, it does stain the lips instantly. This takes a little longer. It almost has to like dry down, and like it just leaves the color behind, like the color sets into the skin. Okay, we have Melon next. Melon, she bold, but she can be worn in two different ways. So on one side, I'm gonna do bolder. So this is my recommendation. I do recommend lip liner still, especially with this color. Sorry, my lips are a little crusty. So when you apply it, press. That's gonna help it blend a little bit better. So that's swiping, right? So there we swiped on melon. I prefer with these bolder colors to do more of this tapping motion because I have a little more control. So it's more of a wash. You see that? So there's swiped on. Here's more of a wash. So with the bolder colors, I think they look best when you tap, unless if you like that boldness. Now personally with this color, because it does have that white base to it, so I find that I need a lip liner, and that's where I would go in with Miss Brownie. She's gonna be our best friend. Cinnamon and Brownie are my two favorites. I forgot to show you Toffee. I'll show you that in a second. I'm just putting her right on top because I want to show you the difference. It just helps to add some contrast. You see that? How it helps to add some contrast and definition to the lips. Now, I personally would do the liner first and then the gelato or whatever you want to put on top. You could use the lip and cheeks, whatever favorite lip color you have, the stains, whatever. But do you see how that just kind of helped to almost like, not mute it down, but it helps to just give some definition because of that white base that's in this shade. It just makes it look really ashy where my lips are the darkest, which is right here and here. Versus when I put a little bit, and that's the thing too, with these warmer lip liners, when you have darkness to your lip, warm orange neutralizes dark blue. So that's why it looks subtle and doesn't pull orange. Now, if you don't have darkness to your lip, that's where you might pull some orange. But for the most part, my neutral girlies, especially women of color, we have depth to our lips. But do you see that? Do you see how that just like made it look more wearable? So that's why I love lip liners. Okay, I forgot. I said I was gonna do two things. I'm gonna do them real quick. Let's talk about Toffee. That's not it. Where'd they go? They're on my laps. On my lap. I don't have multiple laps. I only have one lap. So the satins, I will say, are more of your traditional lip liner shades, but they're not just for lips. You can use them on the eyes, you can use them on the nose, you can use them on the face. I used a couple to bronze actually earlier. This is Toffee. I'm gonna use her real quick as bronzer so I can show you. Love it. Isn't it so pretty? I'm telling you, Brownie is it. Brownie is it. If you're wanting a good brown lip liner, get Brownie. It's I think better than Toffee, even on like lighter skin, because again, you can just take your finger and diffuse it and it'll be a softer brown. Okay, Toffee. Toffee I do like. I actually was really surprised with how well it looked on my skin. So Toffee, Dawn, you might like this one if you don't want depth to your lip liner, if you want warmth to your lip liner, because she's warmer. She's definitely warmer than Brownie. There's Brownie, there's Pepper, there's Toffee. Now let me just swatch Melon over here. Yes, Toffee is beautiful. I do like her. But again, for me, personally, I have pigment on my lip, top lip, so it looks really, it almost starts pulling orange up here, like a little too orange, because this one is warmer, a lot warmer than this one. Do you see the difference? How this is cool, neutral, warm? We're seeing that, right? So let's do this one. You know, my lips are so crusty. I'll tell you, swatching 20-something lip, or so, yeah, 20-something lip products on your lips in the past few days and doing it multiple times, it'll do something to you. Okay, here is Toffee. Now Toffee, what I like about it, I like to actually build her up. And when you build her up, it kind of pulls a little cooler. Now you're gonna see the difference, because the bottom lip, I think it looks gorgeous. But the top lip, it does pull a little tiny bit warmer right up in here. You're gonna see it a little bit. She just feels a little warmer. So if you want a softer brown, has a little more warmth to her, Toffee is it. It's a really gorgeous color. It is really, really pretty. But do you see the difference? You see how down here, it looks a lot darker and deeper versus up here, it's not quite as dark and deep. And even like on the edges, it's kind of hard to see, but on the edges right here and here, it's starting to pull kind of orange. It's because my upper lip is so much darker. So this doesn't have enough depth for my upper lip, which is why I need a shade like Brownie that does have that depth. It has enough depth for my bottom lip because my bottom lip is not the same way. My lips are fading. See, so someone like you, Dawn, because I've seen this actually on a lot of my clients with similar undertone, their lips almost start to turn, like, you see how my lip, I mean, granted, I just put on that melon shade, so it's a little more red than usual. But even normally, like, I have a little bit of some vibrancy to my lip. So I have a little bit of color naturally to it. And I've noticed, like, as we get older, we lose some of that color on our lip and it starts to almost blend into our skin tone. So someone like you, if that's your issue, Dawn, you might actually prefer a shade like Toffee that's going to help to add that color back in. And again, when you build her up, I feel like it does kind of turn a little cooler and darker when you build her up. I do like Toffee. She's really pretty. And I was shocked because I have a similar color to this in Red Aspen that is not quite like this. But then Bridget, like, for example, I'm not sure if this is your issue because, again, since you're a woman of color, so you have a little bit more depth to you, I feel like women of color, as our lips start to lose color, they almost turn more darker, like this muted purple, like what my top lip looks like. It's like the whole lip kind of turns into that darker purple that it's just like a muted, almost like a gray. So someone like you probably aren't gonna like this shade because it's too dark, or sorry, it's too light for your lip. But you might. And again, that's why I'm kind of showing you it so that you can kind of make that decision of whether you want something lighter like this or darker. But keep in mind that what this is going to do is, because there is some warmth to it, it's going to turn every lip color you put on top warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Cocoa Marot and put it on top of this one, because we saw what Brownie and Cocoa Marot looked like. And again, it's not that this is a bad one. I actually really, really like this one, and I like pairing this one with Dulce, which is the more orangey nude. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Susan. I think we've talked about that before. And it's a common thing. Women of color, we just tend to turn, like, our lips turn more purple. And then lighter skinned women, their lips tend to turn more, like, just pale. It's like there's no color at all. So do you see how the lip is kind of turning? Like, it's not bad. It's a good combo still, but it's going to turn a little warmer. So if you're someone who's concerned about the lip liner turning too warm or turning orange on you, that's my fear with Toffee. Is you can definitely see it on the top lip, how that's looking like an orange line, versus earlier when I had Cocoa Marot, same exact color, but I had a cooler neutral brown. It was more softer, it was defined still, but it wasn't pulling orange because the warmth of Toffee is starting to make Cocoa Marot look more orange. So that's what you want to keep in mind. Color theory is a crazy thing. My personal recommendation, if I could only pick one, I would pick Brownie because she's neutral and you can, like, tone her down. But if you're lighter skin or warmer undertoned, you're gonna love Toffee. Toffee's a great one. I do like her. It's not bad. I don't think this is bad at all. But personally, on myself especially, I like Brownie, because I know that as this wears throughout the day, it's gonna turn into an orange ring around my lips. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I like to hear your feedback, and they just look so different than they used to, but you may be right about it. Yeah, and that's really it. It's a thing. It's a sucky thing. Being a woman is hard, because unfortunately that is the cross that we have to bear, is that as we get older, we start losing color in our face and our lips, because especially if you are experiencing the change. Do you want to know why? Estrogen. Estrogen is what gives us that youthful glow, and as we start to produce less of it, is my lip bleeding? As we start to produce less of it, we no longer have that. But that's why makeup is a great thing, because makeup can add what nature is trying to take away from us. So my recommendation is just, you know, using deeper colors. All right, any others that we want to see before I just start showing you random things? Another one I really love, I'm going to do one more of the satins, and then I'm going to show you the silks real quick. Plum. Oh my gosh, plum is so gorgeous. For my neutral girlies, you need plum. Please, everybody get plum if you are a neutral girly, or if you just like some depth. So plum and toasted look very similar. MAC has a new lip concealer. I see. So for like the deeper, yes, for like where you have a darkness, the lip concealer will be great to make a color pop more and be more intense. So like if you're someone who maybe you've put on a lip color and it doesn't show true to color. Now again, you want to be careful with those. I do like that. The lip concealers, they are great. And that's something that I do with a lot of my clients to kind of make their lips pop a little bit more. But you do want to be kind of careful with them too, because it can turn kind of ashy if you don't put a lip liner on. So you still would need a lip liner to define the lips, and then you could put the lip color on top. So concealer. Another thing you could do too is just using your main highlight shade or a darker highlight shade and putting it all over the lips to kind of neutralize everything, especially if you have some warmth. So something like nutmeg or goddess, putting it all over the lips. This is what I do with my clients. Putting it all over the lips and then setting with some powder, then put on your lip liner and put on your lip color on top. And that will help with the lighter shades. Darker shades, you don't really need it as much, but yeah, definitely you can play around with it. But yeah, I do like those for sure. Okay, let me see. Girl, this is my second time in the change. First time was after breast cancer at 47, and I'm having hot flashes again at 60. I just love being a woman though. I don't know if you're being sarcastic with the I just love being a woman though. But yes, girl, I am so sorry. I know I went through medically induced menopause, as you guys probably know, back in November. And that was the worst because they downplayed the heck out of it. They're like, oh, you're just going to have some mild hot flashes. You'll be fine. No, they didn't warn me about all the other things. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I already have a little taste of what my future is going to hold whenever that happens. I would love to see fall gelatos with complementing liners, espresso and cinnamon. Yes, I'm going to do those. And I do tight line and smudge as shadow. You're gonna love them. But again, if you're doing it as eyeliner, grab a brush. The etch brush is great. If you're tight lining, it's gonna be fine. It does work really, really great. I will probably try both and get brownie first. I'll have control over the darkness. Yeah, I think it looks darker than what it really is. And again, because of the satin formulas, I feel like the satin formulas, like you can make them really nice and sheer, and you can do a lighter little hand with it. I personally think that you might like brownie better, Dawn, if you've not ever had luck with any of the lighter browns in your past life. But if you have done lighter browns like toasted, you might like it. But I'll share with you the, oh God, I'm sorry, y'all, my brain. I'll share with you the swatches from Michelle Spieler, because she's a similar undertone to you, and I think that'll help you with your decision. For me, I want one color combo, eyeliner combo. I need to watch my spending. Would love the pH color and pilot brush. No, literally, I do like being a girl. Okay, I was just making sure, because there is this soundbite that's like, how I just love being a woman, and people like use it sarcastically. I get it though. I love being a woman too. I love like the girly things, and I love like, you know, just all of womanhood, but it's like, this is the part of womanhood that sucks. Like literally yesterday, my hematologist was like, I was telling him, it was a lot of blood I lost, doc. And he's like, yeah, that's why I'm grateful I'm not a woman. I get it though. Okay, this one is plum. Let me show you Plum real quick. It is hard to choose, but Plum is so pretty. If you want something a little berry, what I like about Plum is a little bit of a more neutral again, but has a little bit of red. And surprisingly, she doesn't pull too red on my top lip. She does a little tiny bit, but not as much. Yes. Now I'm gonna do the pH adjuster just because you mentioned it, Arju. The pH adjuster is so pretty. It's a great like everyday. And what I love about it is that it swatches darker purple. Well, when you put it on, it turns into the perfect little berry shade. Look at that. This is Plum and pH adjuster. See how pretty that is? Sorry guys, my eyes have been seeing this light for so long. So it is, my nose is running and I'm trying not to have them drip. What would you recommend for brown eyeliner? You could actually do brownie. If you want a more longer wear one, I would say cinnamon or espresso. Because I have espresso right here. That's what espresso looks like. This is black. So you can kind of see the difference. Although this was black on top of espresso, so just keep that in mind. What about an all over lip color? Are you wanting like one of the pencils as an all over lip color? So this is Plum. I love it. And then I could take Pepper. Kind of tone her down right up here. That's the only thing, is when I go up a little too high, it does pull a little too cool on me, or sorry, too warm on me. But I do like Plum a lot. I did Plum and Raspberry the other day. Oh, Gorgina. But this is pH adjuster. Isn't it so pretty? Lips. This is just Plum as the liner with the pH adjuster, which does leave a nice stain. I like it because it also is really pretty for like no makeup. But let's do Plum all over. I did share swatches of all the lip satins, or the satins and the silks all over my lips. Let me tell you, those silks on the lip, I don't recommend it all over, but as liner, they're great. And then we'll get into the next thing, which are the pencils. We'll talk about those. I thought it was my phone. I'm so sorry. It was me. Okay, Plum all over. Look at how gorgeous Plum is. It's like this brownish, plummy red is the best way I could describe this. This one is gorgeous. So many people are sleeping on her though. Plum all over. The satins apply like butter. Also, can I just say how grateful, I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but how grateful I am for this little community that we've built here, and like how we all can just chat. And that's why I love doing the Facebook lives more than the Instagram, or not Instagram, the, what was that one? YouTube ones. But because we have this little community here that's just so supportive, so amazing. And I love all of y'all. But anyways, isn't this so pretty? And then, yeah, you could do one of the, like, if it was pulling a little too red on you, then that's where I would do a cooler tone liner around, or like even brownie. But I do like it all over the lips. And then you could put one of the gelatos on top. I heard the music, then you reached and gone. Okay, so you heard the music too. It was so random. I don't even know what the music was. Like, I had never heard of that song in my life. It was just my Apple Music that started playing. She was like, it was like, you know, in the award shows when you're talking for too long and music starts playing because they're kicking you off. I think Facebook was subliminally doing that to me. So this is me taking a little bit of a cooler liner. So this is Pepper, just to kind of mute that down. So if you wanted to do that, you can. But these, on the lips, they feel like butter. They're so nice on the lips. Okay, let's do Dawn, you said, or was it Arju? I think it was Arju who said espresso and cinnamon for some fall colors. Let's do it. We have espresso. And yeah, I would definitely do, here's espresso so you can see the difference. Espresso. Do you see how buttery those are? I'm sorry, it's a janky swatch. So espresso's a little cooler. Cinnamon is a little tiny bit warmer. It was, the last thing I had on was PH, okay, PH Blackberry with Plum liner. Okay, this is cinnamon, this is espresso. So you can see espresso's a lot cooler. This is a little bit warmer. I love cinnamon, but I've warned you guys. I'm telling you, once they're on, you can't do much. So this is my recommendation for the lips. If you're gonna use them on the lips, because they're long wearing lip liners for sure. Apply it in sections, smudge it if you want it softer, and do it section by section. Yes, it's gonna take a little longer, but if you do the whole line, I find that it's harder to get that soft line because you have maybe 10 seconds to blend before that thing sets. She sets real quick, but it's so creamy, so I feel like it does the shape really quick. Like already, that was already starting to set down. So this is cinnamon.
I found this on the web.
¿Quién te está hablando? Sorry. If you have a demo of the pilot brush, please, what brushes we get. I'll show you real quick. But if you want to see how I use the pilot brush, watch my Instagram live from today. I posted the replay already. Yes, it's like a family friends chatting. I 100% agree. 100% agree. So there is cinnamon as the liner. Look at this. She ain't going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. She's on there. She is on there. Okay. And then I really like taking this shade here called, sorry, my nose is dripping, pomegranate. Let me wipe her real quick. Pomegranate. So it's really pretty berry red. I don't know what lip and cheek it would remind me of. I'd say it's close. Close to cinnamon. Yes, it is still neutral. It's like brownie. How brownie? It's like the softer version or the more intense version of brownie. It's the more intense version. So here's brownie, here's cinnamon. So brownie's like softer while cinnamon is more intense. They're both neutral, but has a little touch of warmth to add that color back into your lips. And again, with these bolder colors, I like to tap. Look at how pretty that is. So she's a little bolder for sure. This is pomegranate and cinnamon. It's a lot of color payoff. And then if you want to tap off the excess, you can. And I'm gonna show you what I like to do. Okay, we're tapped off the excess so that we just have it like almost like a stain. Then go into the lip balm. So with the lip balm, you want to make sure that you scrape or that you dig in there. If you just go like this, it has almost like this film that needs to be broken. But this will kind of mute it down and turn it more into an iridescent finish. Super hydrating. See how that's just like toned it down and made it more of a softer berry. And it has a soft peachy smell. It's not like the peach balm though, that peach balm was very intense. It smelled like Snapple. This is very, very soft and subtle and super hydrating. Like those crusties on my lips are thanking me for this right now. But that is, what did I say? Cinnamon with pomegranate and the lip balm. Can I pull off cinnamon? I think you can, Dawn, but again, she is not beginner friendly. So that's why I think brownie is better for you, because brownie is a little of that softer formula. And again, if you just want it to wear longer, just put some setting powder on top. See how I could get all this off. Probably not, but it's okay. Because I think that cinnamon might be a little bit too dark for you, because you can see the difference between cinnamon and brownie. These were both the same pressure with my swatch, and that's so much more intense. And this is like not going anywhere. While this, if I take my finger she's gonna move a little bit. So just keep that in mind. You have to be very quick with it. Trying to think, because the silks, they're more like typical eyeliners. And also there's a shade called Latte that is a gorgeous shimmer shade. I think the swatches aren't doing it justice. I don't even know where to put it. I'm gonna try to use the jumbo side so you can see it a little bit better. I feel like the swatch is not doing it justice. It's like a shimmer. So this one almost reminds me of Arabian Nights, but cooler. Or even like if you loved spiced cream eyeliner eyeshadow and you rub this, it's more like spiced. Do you see the shimmer? Can you see it? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. But there's like a golden shimmer to it. It's the only one that has a little sparkle. You can use it as lip liner. Don't use it to fill in your lips though. So I would say, Dawn, if you want to do toffee as your lip liner shade, bronzer and all that stuff, and then cinnamon as the eyeliner, and then you can use that to deepen up a little bit the lips. But again, you have to be quick. You have to be quick because they dry so fast. I just cannot emphasize that enough. Yeah, it's hard to see the shimmer. You have to like see it in a flashlight. Like with my bare eyes, and that's why I tell you that everything on the internet is fake. What is on my forehead? What is that one, Toffee? Which one? I don't know which one you're talking about, Arju. This one? This one's Latte. Is that what you're talking about? This is Latte. Toffee is right here. No. Yes, that's Toffee. That's Toffee. That's Brownie. Blended out. That is Pepper. This is Plum. This is Espresso. This is Latte. Cocoa Morel, Melon, and Pomegranate. All these swatches, I'm telling you right now, because I worked really hard on this, okay? So I want to make sure that you check it out. After we finish our live session here, I just posted all these swatches on my lips, the silks on my eye. I didn't put the satins on my eye because I didn't. But the silks on my eye, the satins and the silk as liner and as all over, and all the gelatos on my lips. So those are all on there. If you read that post, it's like literally 2 or 3 posts before this. Not only do I have arm swatches that are labeled for you, but I also have them all on my face. And then again, throughout this week, as more artists start sharing their things, I will share them in here of different skin tones, age, all that stuff. All right, Espresso. Yes, this one was Latte, not Toffee. Toffee's here. Toffee's way different. It's warmer. And Toffee's also a satin, so that one's not as long wear as the silk. Okay, Espresso. Again, I say even a lighter hand with this one because this one's a lot darker. A lot cooler of a brown. She's not gonna look good on lighter skinned girls, I'm just gonna tell you right now. Not as a lip liner. As an eyeliner, yes, but as a lip liner, she's gonna be really intense and it will almost look black. It's like if Kohl eyeshadow was in a stick form. So again, I'm doing section by section, trying to be quick with it. If you apply it on more hydrated lips, it might be easier to apply, but then you won't get the longevity. So you do want to apply it on dry lips. But after that's set, that thing is not going anywhere. So that is Espresso. And I'm gonna show you my favorite lip gelato. Raspberry. She is like black cherry and Royal had a baby. That is raspberry. She's so good. I personally like using this one with mulberry or plum, but you can also do it with Espresso if you want a deep fall lip. I like mulberry better. So she's vampy. Vampy, vampy. Very pretty though. Okay, so that is espresso with, what did I say? Raspberry. I will tell you, once you put the lip gelatos on top of the silks, I feel like that kind of helps it to come off a little easier, but you'll still be left with a little stainage, because you can see that, right? My lips are raw right now. This poor little toilet paper has seen better days. Okay, any others? Any other requests? Trying to keep everything organized over here. Let me show you mulberry and fig so you can see the difference. Not fig. Oh, I guess it kind of does look like fig. Mulberry and, sorry, mulberry and raspberry. She's a little purple. Love her. As a blush, this one's a good one. And that's the color we have in our eyeliner here too. Remember from earlier? Latte. I'm just putting things back because things are all over the place. There's a mess over here. So this is mulberry. We're gonna take fig. I keep calling it fig, raspberry. So again, like I do 3 clicks, 1, 2, 3, and that's plenty. Sometimes even more. You want it to be just a little tiny bit that it's coming up a little bit. Not too much, but just little by little. Here's raspberry with mulberry. So you see how it turns more of a like berry red. This is the color I had on in Nashville on the last night, if you saw my stories. So stinking pretty. This is like the fall lip. And because this has a little bit of a brown undertone, I feel like it's gonna look gorgeous on my neutral girlies. And then if you want to, you can take a little cinnamon. My personal preference is cinnamon. If I had to choose between cinnamon and espresso, I'm choosing cinnamon. But I understand why people like espresso. I just feel like cinnamon is better for the lips than espresso is. Espresso, she's just so dark. I'm just gonna line only the center. See how that just like kind of muted it down a little bit? So it's not as red. So using those brown lip liners kind of helps to mute things down, add that like depth that it needs. What do we think? I love this shade. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I do like it a lot. I'm shocked nobody wanted to see Dulce. Dulce? Yeah, cinnamon is definitely deeper than cocoa from Red Aspen. I'll show you that in a second. But she's more long wearing too. And okay, there is cocoa from Red Aspen, cinnamon. So you see how cocoa pools a lot more red. Cinnamon, espresso, and then I'm gonna put brownie right on top. I wanna see Dulce. Okay, I'll show you Dulce. This is the longest live I've ever done in my life. We're on 2 hours, essentially. But y'all are here, so I'm here. Here's brownie. So you can kind of see it. This is just, it just pulls really red. Cocoa does, but I love cocoa. Love her. Cinnamon is just like the more brown, darker version of her. Brownie, it's like the lighter brown version of her. So let's do, I can't do any more of the silks on my lips, guys. I'm sorry. My lips are raw. So we're gonna have to do some hydration. Let's do brownie and Dulce. That's my favorite combo. I also like toffee too. I'll do a mix. Let's do a lip combo. Ready? Oh, these glide on like butter. Satins are buttery. The silks are silky. But they would not budge. I like that cinnamon is more neutral. Yes, exactly. It's like the neutral version. That's what I was trying to tell you, I think. Is it's like a more neutral, like it has a little bit of warmth to it, like a little bit of red. But when you see it next to a more warmer lip liner, you can see how this is actually not as red, which I really love. Okay, toffee to fill in the lips. Love it. And Dulce on top. And I think this is gonna have to be my last one because I don't know if you can literally see the flakes on my lips. Yes, they are going to fall off. That's why I was like, I can't do the silks. I can't do them anymore. My lips are hurting. I'm gonna have to like drench them in that balm, that new balm. Dulce on top. Dulce is like a neutral nude. Has a little bit of warmth when you put it with the right lip liner. Look at that. So good. Dulce and Coco Moreau are gonna be bestsellers for sure. She does pull a little orange. She does pull a little orange, but when you put it with the right lip liner, she's the vibe. She's the moment. You see that little crusty? I like her though. So brownie, toasted to fill in with Dulce on top. A fun little nude for you. I'll finish with one more, okay? I know I said one more earlier, but I lied because I just want to show you this one. Because it's one of my favorites. I'm not going to do lip liner with it though. Isn't it pretty? It's a really, really pretty one. And just know that these are going to be around for a while. So if you can't get your hands on all of them, get your hands on the staples and then add some to your wish list. Christmas is coming up. And you get some loyalty points. This one's called Sugar Pie. Sugar Plum. Has a little sparkle to it too. More of a hot pink. I love this for every day. Like one and done. I just think she's really pretty and underrated. And I wanted to show her. Can you see the sparkle in her? It's a little harder again to see the sparkle. I have toilet paper all over my face. But it's just a really pretty, if you are someone who's like me, who likes pink makeup but hates pink clothes, you're gonna love this. And then I could take brownie. I'm telling you, brownie is it. Brownie's the girl. She'll mute down everything because she's neutral, so she won't make her warm or cool. She's gonna tone her down and make it wearable. So there's brownie. And for my people who need a little color on their lips, Sugar Plum. You need her in your life. She is stunning. I think this is my new go-to lip combo. Thanks so much. I'll catch up on part 2 replay. No worries. I'm literally wrapping up because I'm starving. I've been at this for 2 hours and my back is like, oh. But this has been so fun. I love playing with makeup, and the fact that you all want to see different colors, I'm here for it, please. And if there's any other combos you want to see, let me know. When my lips recover, I'll share those as separate videos. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this. Yeah, and I'm going to share, like I've been taking pictures, so I'm going to share all the combos and stuff like that later. And please, please, please check out the swatches I shared, because there's 35 pictures. I worked so hard on them. I spent like over an hour doing those swatches. Sugar Plum is a given. Yes, Dawn on you, Sugar Plum. Sugar Plum is going to be that girl. With brownie, you see how pretty she is? Just saying, if you want a good brown, brownie is it. All right, my lips literally are on fire right now. This has been so fun. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope I helped you make some decisions. I hope that you learned some things with the eyeshadow combos and all that stuff for the new launches. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's like, maybe you want to see a picture of a certain color on someone that looks more closer to you, let me know and I'll do my best to find it and then send it to you. Let's just do this for the sake of it. want to show you the stain it kind of leaves behind. So do you kind of see that a little bit? Do you see how it left? And this is like a couple minutes, like 30 minutes. So it wasn't that long, but it did leave a little tiny bit of some color behind. Now, if I really built it up or if I left that sit for longer, it will leave that for even longer. And you can see that the satins sitting for a while, it did give a little bit of grip and hold and color. And then the silks, I mean, those things, you gotta scrub with all your strength for it to come off. And even then, just use the by phase makeup remover. Yes, great question, Dawn. You can absolutely use your loyalty rewards on any of the new launches, which is amazing because we weren't able to do that with our hostess rewards, but you can do that with your loyalty rewards. And if you are like, how do I get more loyalty rewards? If you recommend a friend, have them shop your loyalty link, which I can do a whole video on how to do that. Have them shop your loyalty link and then they purchase, you get 200 points and they're going to get 50 points plus 1 point per dollar that they spend. So that's a great way to get some extra points, is referring friends to try Seint makeup through your loyalty rewards. So it's kind of like party rewards was before, but a little different. So, excuse me. Swatches, take care of yourself. I'm going to go check out the swatches. Yes, let me know if you have any questions too. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. I'm going to be busy for a while. Same. I love you all so much. My back is really, really killing me. This chair is terrible. So I'm going to go stretch and make myself some dinner. But thank you guys for joining me. This has been so fun. And let me know if Wednesdays work better than Mondays, because maybe I'll switch the master classes to Wednesdays, the last like Wednesday of the month instead of Mondays. Okay. Love you all. Bye.